Okay, let's go.
Gravity is the Earth's pull of objects towards it. Magnetism is attraction that gels two humans together. I gravitated towards the pool like a baby to a titty, encircled with my eyes closed for inner delight. Attraction is a wonderful condition. Love is a beautiful position. The journey to the heart is paved with slippery marbles and outlined with thorny roses. A prick and you bleed, a misstep and you slip. I really dig you. I feel this shovel to the brim. I wouldn't hammer you. You're far too malleable. I'd like to screw you, to tighten the nails that bind us. Allow me to rake you, so I can level out these textures. The roughest stones shine brightest when they are polished. I have the grip of a pliers, while I'll water you like a flower. Did I not feel the heat when I ignited a matchstick? You had filled up the room like a gas. Were we not naked when the window steamed up? I was afraid to drop you like a glass. Was I not sober when I declared my love? Your purple gas filled up my glass heart. We can't undervalue minerals we spent man hours unearthing. Diamonds were not transported to the core not to shine. My affection for you will not go unrequited. How many corrected proposals have I submitted? What kind of joke will it take to see you smile? To write with a broken pencil is pointless. I'd like to tell you a chemistry joke, but I wouldn't get a reaction. You see, you still didn't smile, but I got news you'll find worthwhile. Remember when I used that boy's pair of jeans as a doormat, and you said I step on people's clothes like how I trample people's hearts? It's the rotting manure that provides fertility for growth. It's the downfalls that make us rise stronger. No more blue balls and the rounds are longer. The biltong might be dry, but it sure is tastier.
You're listening to Verse Connoisseur. We're in the studio now with my boy Stones. This is your girl Blazing Sane. And on the show today, we've got St. Val's.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Sup, man?
What's good, Stones?
Dope poem, bro.
Sure.
Thanks, man.
I'm inspired right
For real?
Yeah, man, I am.
I'm always afraid to shake because some of this thing just comes up deep and personal. So people ask you, who you talking about?
Yeah, I know the feeling.
But hey, it's all poetry, it's all art.
So tell me about yourself, man. So who is St. Val's?
St. Val's is a young man from Bluey, right? I sort of just dropped from heaven, just came out of nowhere. Nobody knows where I come from, and I don't want people to know. Anyway, I just arrived in Poetry City. Like boom!
I'm literally picturing you dropping from his head. Like boom.
So, I can't talk about my age though, because every time I ask someone to guess my age, they always guess a younger age or older age. And I always say, yeah, that's my age. Whatever you guess is cool because it's a compliment, I guess. But I'm a creative soul. And I find creativity in a whole lot of things, I love art, I love paintings, I love poetry. I just love something that uses the imagination, where you see that, no, someone thought deep about this. It's not the normal stuff you get, yeah? Mm-hmm. But I'm into mining and farming. That's where, I get some sense to put food on the table. Then I got my artsy side. Got a few projects here and there. I'll just sum it up as a social media entrepreneur. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I think that's what I do.
Speaking of your projects, can you tell us about the St. Val's Poetry Fund? I really want to know about that.
All right, St. Val's Poetry Fund. I started that as a movement where I just thought, hey, I need to celebrate, poetry specifically. Where we don't have anything locally that celebrates poetry specifically. Mm-hmm. So I saw all these awards worldwide where people submit their works and stuff online, abroad, and all that stuff. And African writers per se are always celebrated by people from outside, and they always have to change their story to suit the judges from outside, So it just started as a conversation basically, where it's like, I just wish one day someone locally would be so rich where they put so much money in a fund and actually award local content, maybe to the extent where people from outside the continent to be like, hey, we need to apply for the African fund because there's money in Africa, you know what I mean?
That's really dope.
Yeah.
And I think we actually have entrepreneurs and people with money and all that stuff here. I think we got people who love poetry who are out there in the, you know, corporate world and stuff. So I'm just trying to tap into that. So basically I didn't wait for me to get money. I didn't wait for me to get so big where I can, you know, I was just like, you know, you can start small. So I started small. So I just do these small competitions where I'd be like, oh yeah, today is Valentine's Day. Can couples send their pictures and write a poem about it? Whoever comes up with the best poem, we give prizes. And I approach a few people who sponsor into the fund. Like last time I approached Sweet Lips Zimbabwe. They gave me like 2 bottles. I approached another local clothing guy. He gave me a few outfits. You know, then I also just put something in there. You know, and another friend, like friends who are writers at their books, they put their books in there. So at the end, it was like a big prize, you know. Then
Nice.
I wanted the winner. So I always do different, unique stuff like that. And I want to grow like that until, yeah.
You want to be the man, man.
Nah, it's just ideas. It's just
So I hear that you started like curate Blauer.
Yeah.
Tell me how that came about.
all right. I think everything starts from a conflict somewhere. Because Great Blue Eye, come to think about it, it's like we had Curate Zoom, right? Every country in the world has got this Curate thing going on. And Curate Zoom was so big and we all followed Curate Zoom and it was wow. Until there was this debate where people were like, how come people from Blue Eye don't curate, like, or, you know, Curate
Yeah.
Zoom? Then the guy who was running the account was like, no, last week we had this Zoom chick, this Blue Eye chick, right? And I was like, so that's wow to you, like in a Blue Eye chick last week. They made it look like, hey, we put someone there. Then, you know, for the next few months, there was no one again. Then it was like we had to beg to be on that platform. And I was like, come on, you know, Twitter is such a free thing where you can just open an account today. So like, I'm opening Curate Blue Eye and I'm gonna run that thing till it's big. It started out really small, I had like 10 followers, and my first curator was my friend's young sister. I just had my laptop, we're in the kitchen, cooking some stuff. She didn't even know how to curate. I'm like, bro, you know what, just do your thing. Then instantly it was a hit because just the name Curate Blue Eye and local celebs and all that stuff wanted to know what was cracking. So bit by bit, just pushed it.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
Really dope. So I'm curious though, like, what got you into like poetry? Like, what inspires you to just like, okay, let me try this thing out and see what happens?
You know, it's hard to really pinpoint. I think basically I'm probably a creative person. Yeah, and I grew up with this wonderful woman called Tendai, my mother's young sister. So she was a very creative person. Like whatever she does, creative. So we always used to do funny stuff in the house. Like, you know, if someone's birthday, we would make a present, you know, out of homemade stuff and stuff like that. So I think that's where it sort of started initially. Then I had my brother who was like, he always thought he was a ladies' man. So, you know, when it's a girl's birthday, you get a card, you know, write a poem, you know, get a mug, you know. And he'd be like, you know, boy, this is how you treat a woman. And he was just to diss me like, boy, you'll never get to this extent. And I was like, until one day, funny story. I was not a big grown, so I could start doing these girl things, like, and I was supposed to go for like the grade 7, what do they call that thing? The dance.
Okay.
No, it was Valentine's Day, not a dance. So I had a chick I was supposed to make a move on, you know? And all my boys are like, you know, you can do this, you can do this. So me being me, I just went straight for the hottest girl in the area, you know? And I was like,
Yes.
I'm gonna get this girl. So what I did is, you know, I just wrote a little poem, a few lines, you know. Then I took the card and I put it in the girl's bag. So during break time, you know, the girl opens the bag, then the card drops out. Then she reads the card. After she read the card, you know, she just started crying, like big time.
Sure.
This seemed like the romantic crying, like, oh, and I was just like, and my guys were like, oh my nigga. Until she started humping like big time, and the teachers had to come through and ask, hey, what's up? She's like, someone wrote me, you know, a poem and stuff. So, you know, I didn't even write my name at the bottom, but it's like, there's a time when you achieve something in school, you get a badge. You know, if you're a prefect, you got a badge. So everyone had 1 or 2 badges. So I had got a certificate that day. So I was the first person to get 3 badges. So I just signed underneath the 3 badged man. So it didn't take them a while to realize who has 3 badges.
Oh my gosh.
And after that, you know, she cried so much they took her to the headmistress. And now it was knockoff time, and her dad was a soldier.
Oh.
So when he was off, he used to come and collect her from school. So when he came through, he found her crying, and he took her straight to the headmistress, like, who did this to my daughter?
Oh my goodness.
And I had this one teacher who hated me, like, Mrs. Moore hated me, like, for days. She went straight to him and said, yeah, he's that boy. That boy is up no good. Look what he's doing to little girls. And the guy was like, yo, I'm going to deal with this guy. And when I just saw that happening, I was like, you know what? I'm going to run away. And I just took my bag and I started walking towards the gate. It was still school hours and I was now leaving. And my friends checked me out. They're like, let's go catch that guy. And then the whole class ran to just catch me. Like, hey, bro, come face your problems. Then the father went to like the headmistress and she was like, no, this thing's happening. It's Valentine's Day, so all girls get this stuff. Your daughter is just probably too emotional because this guy was just so sweet or something. But anyway, there's nothing.
Sure,
then
look at you.
It all ended like that. But afterwards, I realized, dang, if I can write stuff that can make people cry, probably I should. I might as well not write at all. Because hey, I'll get in trouble. So I stopped writing like forever. From that day, I didn't write a poem again for the next 10 years.
Wow.
Wow, man.
So
I actually started writing poetry again after high school.
Okay, so now I'm curious, like, tell us about poetiatrist Nirvana. Like, was that like stem from the fact that you're not really a fan of writing, or like how did that come about, and what is it exactly? Because I'm sure people would love to know about it and how they can get involved. Yeah.
Alright, I had an awesome friend called Tutugani Glove. I think you know him.
Yes.
He introduced me to the whole like circular poetry, the local scene of what's going on, you know. Mm-hmm. So he was in SA at the time I was here. I was trying to do some stuff. Then I'd check his stuff out like on Twitter. Then when he came through, we had a meeting. And I just told him, I want to do something unique, something different. When poets come through, we write some stuff. And I had the idea in my head, but I couldn't like spell it out. And he kept on saying, what are you saying? Like, what are you saying? Until I was like, don't worry, I'll do it. And, I'll let you know this is what I'm doing. So then I met up with another guy called Graham. We sat down like, you know what, I'm going to do something, but first we need a name. So he came up with all these cool names. And I was like, you know what, I don't want something you can Google. I want my name to be something that if you Google, is the only thing that comes out.
Yeah,
so if you Google Poetitis Nirvana,
that's true,
the only name you'll see is mine and other poets who've written on Poetitis Nirvana. So Poetitis Nirvana basically means a place where people suffering from poetry go and find healing.
So dope.
So basically what we do on Poetitis Nirvana is that everything's coordinated on WhatsApp, right? So in the evening, someone posts a picture. We call them a host. And the host posts a picture, everybody writes 6 lines on that picture. We compile, then we put the session on Facebook, on our Facebook page. Then we call that an episode. Then a season has got 30 episodes. Basically, that's what we do. So from first season, I just got whoever poet I could get my hands on, we did that. Basically around 10 to 15 poets a season. Then by the second season, I was now looking at expanding, and I was just like, what? I should be able to find poets from other countries and stuff like that. So I went online, just started looking for poets. Next thing, I think I've had more than 16 to 20 countries, which have poets who have dealt with from around the world, different countries.
That's really dope.
Yeah, even I've participated.
Yeah, Sunny's been there, she's been there. I think if you're a local person and you haven't been on Poetitis yet, you probably don't have it because I spot talent. That's what I do. Like, I just spot talent.
To all those who are not there yet, sorry about that. You need to work hard.
Now we got a new season coming up, so people can just apply.
Okay, so how do they apply though?
Alright, first I used to search for people like individually, so basically that was like stalking.
Okay.
So now there's something called a Google form. So I just made a Google form where you just fill in your details, put your name, your address. Then we put a few topics in there, then you just write a few lines. Then at the end of the day, we just go through those lists of people, then We choose people for the next season.
Okay, so where can they find the form?
Right now it's on my page. It's St. Vowels on Twitter. It's pinned at the top.
Nice. Speaking of your Twitter handle, can you please tell us where we can find St. Vowels online?
All right. On Twitter is @St. Vowels, SAINTVLZ. That's the same handle for Instagram. Then on Facebook, the page is Poetitress Nirvana. So it's just facebook.com/Poetitress. And you get there. Then we got a blog also for Poetitress. Poetitress at wordpress.wordpress.com.
Yeah, that's really dope.
Yeah.
And then you're not on YouTube or Instagram.
Nah, not yet. You know, I'm a slow grower. I'm getting there.
Well, I'll hardly say you're slow, but okay. Be humble, be modest. Okay, before we close off the show, St. Vowels, I saw a poem that you wrote about a poet. I know that was something that you wanted to talk about. I don't know, maybe if you want to say a few words about her.
Oh, there's Mutsa Diana Shiripinda, aka Ray Lyric. Now, she was a close friend of mine, one of the heaviest poets in the industry. Like, she is a Harare girl, but she went to school in Botswana and tertiary in South Africa and Zambia. So she sort of did a poetry thing out there. So she came back to Zim like, you know what, guy, I'm here to claim my throne. She always used to say, I'm here to claim my throne. So we met, because of this poetry circles and stuff.
Okay.
But I'm glad I met her because she was such a force, So we had this small like events we used to do. I started off an event called Skies Fusion Arts where we just do a poetry show. Then we invite 1 or 2 poets from Harare. They come through. Then when there's a Harare show, they invite 1 or 2 of us. We go there. So basically, we would like host each other. So Ray used to come to my house with Biko, Muse, and all these other artists. They come here and crash. Then the next day they go and perform. Yeah. So we became so close with Ray, and she was really a force. First people didn't know her. Then people started knowing her. Then she started performing. Then she started winning awards. Like in a short space of time, she just stole the whole scene. I remember like trying to apply for Intuasa and stuff because I was like a Bluayo person, like, hey guy, make things happen for me in blues. So I approached all the festivals like, hey, I got somebody. And they wanted people like, I think who they know, like already, like these new names they didn't like, think. And that's part of the reason I also did my own shows, my own festivals, because these existing things, sometimes they are so limited. So she didn't even get the chance to go to those shows, because they didn't know her. Then in Harare, she went and performed at this one place, and they're like, the people who are going to win, we're going to take them to Bluayo. We're going to fly them to Bluayo, we're going to book them in a hotel, they're going to perform, we're going to take care of them. So she was part of those people. Then she came through for Intuasa and she stole everybody's heart. Everyone was just talking about it. And everyone was coming to me because they knew that this is the guy who's close to this girl. Whoever she is, let's ask this guy, what is she about, So after that, was like in December. Then 2 months later, she got hit by a car in Harare. Then she was bedridden for like 2 months in hospital. After that, she was cool. She came out, she had broken bones and all, but she healed. Then she came back and she just ticked everything off her bucket list. Because she wanted to be a photographer, Then her mom bought her a camera and she had these wow photos. She wanted to host her own show, Then she planned that and she did that. She wanted to do something else, she did that. And it's like, as soon as she was just ticking everything, then the next day we just see that, man, she's gone.
Damn.
Wow.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Sure.
So she was such a force, I really feel like I need to honor her and stuff. That's why I'm wearing this yellow thing. Because her nickname was Shield Sun, right? And she used to love yellow dresses, yellow shirts and everything. So actually, I'm supposed to actually put her face on this thing.
Honoring her memory.
Yeah, and also there are some poets working on a book about her.
Okay.
And I'm also, me and my squad of poet artists, we're also working on something for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, St. Vowels, can you exit us with another piece of poetry?
Yeah, I can do that.
Before we exit, I'm curious.
Alright.
Why the name St. Val?
Alright, my real name is Valentine to say, right?
Okay.
So Valentine, that's where vowels came from. Then, you know, me being a good guy, just people just see me as a saint.
Really?
So St. Val's is, you know, the name that just stuck. I remember one time, like, I used to rap in high school, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I went to the talent show and stuff. So now, before we hit the stage, my guys were like, "Guy, we all have, stage names and stuff. What's yours?" And I was like, And I thought of St. Val's, but I thought it was embarrassing. So I was like, let's just try St. Val's, but next time I'll change, you know. And the guys were like, "Yeah, that's cool." Every day it just stuck, man. It just stuck. Yeah. Alright, let me do a little piece for Miss Ray Lyric, the late. This is part of the poems in the upcoming anthology for her. Mambo Kazi Mutsa. If I never met her, she would have never happened to me. I met the performer and witnessed the show. I met the traveler and heard stories of places. I met the reader and we exchanged books. I met Mutsa and helped her fetch water from the bore. I met Diana and learned about the Botswana art scene. I met Ray Lyric and wrote an article about her. I'll remember Miss Shiripinda with some poems in an anthology. One description no one will mention is being prophetic because I read some things she wrote in the Savages episodes that later happened to her. I experienced it at her most vulnerable moments, broken teeth, bones, and spirit in the hospital. She burst into tears on the phone, not from the pain, but from the love she never expected. The whole us fraternity during the hospital visiting hour. She turned close friends into family. She had a big loving family. I grew distant after bad decisions. Giorgio persuaded me to stay close. Giorgio was the one person who helped me understand Mutsa. If I could respect him as a writer, I could take his word. Wherever Biko emerged from, I don't know. He set the platforms, endorsed the dreams, and we made shit happen. He became the ingenious brother and the link to our connection. Some people play their part in the name of art. Real recognize real. One way to describe a connection with Pilani. We joked on New Year's Eve that Pilani and Mutsa were my poetic parents. These two birds, the Nyoni and the Shiri. The bird got hit by a car just after setting up a date for a first solo show. Bedridden in the hospital, but that never stole her shine. We religiously read her posts on her social pages. I'm glad she got back on her feet and rescheduled the show. I'm glad the show was nothing short of amazing. I'm glad Mama got her HD camera and she shot some amazing stuff. I'm glad she got discharged and ticked some boxes off her bucket list. She made broken souls see the beauty they withheld. She made fluid sexual creatives feel at home. When a friend influences your taste in music and adds much needed voices to your library, then you're just born from different mothers, but your souls know each other. Rest in peace, Mutsa.
That was amazing.
Was it?
Yeah, because I felt like I met her through the poems, and now I know her.
Yeah.
You can almost see like the picture of the person she was.
Yeah, that was the intention.
She was the sun. Yeah, I can totally see her.
And she got stuff on YouTube, unlike me, so you can actually go on YouTube and check it out.
Stuff too, man.
For real? Yeah, I will. Yeah, you guys should.
He's slow, Stones. He's slow.
I'm just saying.
Do you know if you guys had a video camera and you're taping this shit, I would have stuff. This would be part of stuff. Tomorrow.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Okay.
Man, it was pretty nice having you on the show. So
thanks, Mr.
Is there like anything else new that's coming up that you want people to know about?
I think I pretty much talked about everything. Is there anything else, Sana? You're the one who stalks me nicely.
Listen to that. You gotta put that out there.
Oh yeah, I've actually got a book coming out.
Okay.
And I've also got a couple books that have been out. So,
so where can we get those books?
You can get them on Google Books.
Okay.
But there's no physical copy for those books that I put out. So I was just putting out books and letting people have them for free, as a generous guy, because I was just doing that for the art. But now I'm actually gonna do my first paperback book. The first time I'm saying the title. It's called LIPA. And LIPA is an acronym. It means Lost in Paradise Poetry Anthology.
Wow.
So that's gonna come out soon.
Back to that.
I can't wait for this one.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank our sponsors, Yield Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Verse Connoisseur. And we will see you next time.
Until the next episode.
Yes.